From the scientific side.
Thank you, Mr. President. What's the timeline
Hold on,
for
she
those?
just wanted to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think what's really important about your order is you include, we really want to understand why these rapid-acting treatments work. We need that for every treatment in mental health illnesses. Standard antidepressants in research, they do work for some people, but certainly not everyone. And if we think of cancer, all other conditions, we have a test to know which treatment is needed, and we don't have that for mental illness. It's guesswork.
This is trouble. With that, it either works or it doesn't work, and you have the result.
So
with this, you don't
as
know.
part of this order, I think it's really important that we're able to have the investment to understand who does this work for, and the test to accompany that. So thank you for making that.
Do you think this can be a big step above antidepressants, what we're doing?
Yeah.
I think it can be identifying who doesn't respond to an antidepressant straight away, rather than waiting for years. And
What
being
percentage
able
of people respond positively to antidepressants? How
20
much?
to 30%.
That's not great.
No.
That's not great. Well, thank you very much. Good
Question.
question.
Mr. President, what's the timeline for those with mental health disorders, substance abuse disorders, to readily take advantage of this treatment based upon the executive order that you're signing today?
So I'd like to ask maybe Marty that question.
Sure. So first of all, right now it's available on clinical trials. We have not had applications in-house at the FDA. There was one that came in under the Biden administration. It was kicked out and not accepted. We now have 3 applications that are imminent, and we'll be issuing vouchers next week. The fastest FDA approval was 42 days during the HIV epidemic. On our national priority voucher program under President Trump, we are now down to that time frame on a routine basis instead of a year. In my opinion, we need the same level of urgency we had with HIV for PTSD and depression and anxiety in our mental health disorder, and cancer and heart disease and so many other conditions. So you're going to see decisions out from the FDA later this summer, as soon as we get the applications.
That's great. That's great.
And Mr. President,
I like that. I really like that answer.
thank you, Mr. President. And then in regards to the timing of the executive order, was there not enough known about this treatment a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 8 years ago to sign the executive order that you signed?
So do you want to answer that question? Go ahead.
I just added 2016, the lead professor at Johns Hopkins said this was the most promising therapy that he's seen in his career, and many doctors from leading institutions said that. There's been a hold, there's been incentives against this, and it's the bravery and leadership of President Trump.
So you think artificial barriers?
It started, and this, to be clear, is starting a fast-track scientific process that's subject to FDA approval. But this has been known among leading institutions for many times as a very promising therapy.
So could it not have been signed in your first term, or there just wasn't enough information known about it?
Nobody told me about it, frankly. I got, all of a sudden, I've been getting a lot of calls. I think a lot, in all fairness, I think a lot's been learned over the last few years.
I just say that? I mean, a lot has been learned over the past few years. And I think in the first term, if I was standing behind the president, I would have much more comfortable than I am now, thanks to the research that's been done. I mean, still a lot more to do. It's worked for so many people. It's really a great move to do this. But the research is really important because we're going to keep improving, keep learning, and make sure that the people get the treatment they need when they are depressed, when they are addicted, when they have PTSD. If you keep doing the research and also acknowledge the research that's been done, that's when you get good health policy.
And Secretary Kennedy's role, he just doesn't stop. I mean, every day, all day long, until he gets these things done. This is not an easy boulder to push up the hill. And Secretary Kennedy was undaunted, and he'd been talking about it for a while, so he had a passion anyway. But his mentoring has allowed a lot of folks to move this quickly.
And if I can jump in rapidly, because I was one of those doctors that was not supportive of psychedelic therapy because I thought it was magical thinking. But over the past 6 to 10 years, we have seen an emergence of data that we cannot ignore. These drugs have the capacity, as was mentioned before, with one single administration to change the behavior of someone towards a therapeutic effect. In animal models, one single administration recreates pathways that have been eroded because of pathology. So we have a tool that potentially could allow us to basically manipulate the ability of our own bodies to heal itself, if we know how to properly use it. And that's why research, as I mentioned before, is opening up doors to explore what else can we do, how to optimally use it.
But you're just hearing and seeing automatic research. You're hearing and seeing things now that you wouldn't have really, you wouldn't be able to have done a couple of years ago. I mean, it just seems to me, I've been hearing about it a little bit over the last year. I never heard anything about it in the past. It was almost like taboo. It's not taboo anymore, right?
And there was not enough science neither. And I think that's where the evidence speaks for itself. And ultimately, that's why I say I was one of those doctors that didn't believe in it. So we do data in order to change our perspective and to do things better.
I was surprised to hear about the antidepressants. I assumed that'd be better. That's not very good. So, Bobby, you're going to push it very hard?
Yes.
We'll get it done?
We're gonna
Sounds
get it
good
done.
to me. Well, these two guys and this third with Rob too and with you, I mean, that to me is research, right? Maybe the ultimate research, right? Big fans, all big fans. Huh? Well, I want to thank everybody, and it's going to be... Thank you very much, everybody.